Okay, I hope I can fit everything in before they come again. If you do not know who the tall ones are, you are either blessed or they haven't targeted you yet. General information. What are the tall ones? I don't flippin' know. Maybe someone else can help you out with that one. My guess is that they're some supernatural creature that lives in the woods, but here's what I do know about them. They live in the forests. I've never found a report of them in places with no trees. Most of Saudi Arabia, for example, or any from areas devoid of trees. The taller the trees, the more there are. Why? I don't know. Probably something to do with being able to hide better. The California redwoods are full of them. Do not go there. They choose their victims at random. There's no profile. They do not target blacks more than whites, short people more than tall ones, gays more than straights, etc. The only way to decrease your chances of being chosen by one is to live far, far away from the woods. The more people you live with, the more likely it is that they'll choose you. My guess here is that either it gives them more victims or having more people just increases the chances of one of you being chosen, thus all of you are chosen. But they're smart creatures. They stalk you, learn your behaviors, your schedule, your habits. They usually stalk you from anywhere from 4 months to 2 weeks before they attack. They do not change form. These are not shapeshifters. They're good at hiding, though, which is why some people think they're shapeshifters. This isn't correct, though. They range from 6'7" to 9'8", thus their name. Well, they have many names. The tall ones, the skinnies, the taller, it goes on. They're more prevalent in Europe, North America, and the Siberian wilderness. Once you are chosen, they will not stop until they kill you. Now that you know the general information about them, I will tell you my story and how I survived them. I work as a chemist for a certain medicine-making company that I will not reveal. It's not important. As you would expect, I work with chemicals a lot. I know what would treat your cold and what would kill a hippo. This is very important. About 2 months ago, when the stalking started, I read a lot of stories online, so I already knew my fair share of supernatural beings, but what was weird is that there was one that had seemingly legitimate reports from people around the globe. It was strange, but that night I noticed something odd. I read the reports and knew how some of them hid. Basically, just be on the lookout for them. They have a lot of methods. But anyways, my room had my bed, my closet, and my door. It was originally an office, but I decided the bedroom should be the office since I would need more space in there. I'm getting off track. All you need to know is when laying on my bed, I face the window. I usually sleep facing the window because it just faces the forest, so there's only the moonlight and the nice forest to look at. Or so I thought. On that fateful night, I saw something. I originally brushed it off as just my mind playing tricks, but it still bothered me. I have cameras outside. Auto night vision just in case there's robbers or anything. The next morning before work, I decided to check the camera footage to see if there was anything. It saves footage for a week and then auto deletes unless you download the footage. I checked the footage, and it was not a tree, nor a possum or anything. It was a tall one. It was looking at me, just staring. At this point, I double-checked the reports, and it matched up. I had been chosen. How long had this been going on? How much time do I have to prepare? How in the world do I survive one? Questions were racing through my head. I had spent a week researching. I took time off of work claiming to be sick. From what I gathered, guns didn't work, neither did any blade. Harpoon gun was a no. Any weapon you could think of was a negative. I was desperate. The only thing there was no mention of was chemicals. Why? Probably because it sounds stupid to a person who did no research and didn't learn that nothing else works. What did I do? I tried to make the most potent concoction imaginable. When I finally did go back to work, I stole some chemicals. A lot of chemicals. Did they notice? Not at the time, but by now, probably. Did they suspect me? Maybe. But it won't matter. When they finally came about a month and 3 weeks after I spotted them spying on me, I think they knew what I found about them. They must have been spying on me for a month before then to notice that behavioral change. You see, there's never just one of them. There's around 2 to 5 per pack to start, if you will. I got 3 to deal with when they first attacked, but since then, that number has just jumped to 8. I got 3 to deal with in the beginning, but since then, the number just jumped to 8. Anyways, I had to prepare. I had a chemical concoction so potent and lethal that one drop could kill at least 50 adult male humans, according to my calculations. So bad, as much as I want to tell you, if a murderer got onto this stuff, the things they could do are despicable. A gallon of this in a major city's water supply could kill tens of thousands at least. I kept the concoction in a large container. I don't know exactly the best way to describe it, but I made it to where it was kept in a backpack that was connected to a power washer so I could shoot it. It's the best I got. I kept it everywhere I went. Something I knew is that they can attack at any time of day, but they do not attack while you are sleeping. To make you suffer through what they'll do? Maybe. They are intelligent after all. And they do prefer after 5 p.m. though. Before you say, well, why didn't you just escape in your car? I chose not to because I thought if I dealt with them first, then escaped in my car to a place far away, they would not know where I was. I was wrong. But it did give me some extra time to escape with this method. When they attacked me, I was in the bathroom. Concoction by my side, of course, as always. Now, at the time, I was, doing my business. I swear they knew what I was doing, and so to say when I looked out the window and saw it approaching, I was caught by surprise, is an understatement. I quickly pulled up my pants and put on my backpack and grabbed the power washer. Note, my bathroom is in a hall where you can get to my bedroom, the bathroom, the office, or the kitchen, which leads to the living room and then the door. It should be noted that the back door is in the kitchen. My car is already packed with my belongings except for the necessities for me to not suffer while waiting for them to attack. But for me to escape quickly. I rushed down the hall and ran to a corner in the living room. The being opened the door, slowly. It was locked, but the door opened anyway, and I swear it was locked. It crouched, walking through and looked around for me. It saw me in the corner. It slowly walked towards me, and when it was close enough, I sprayed it with a concoction. It was initially surprised. It stumbled behind and tripped on my glass table. As I continued to spray, it slowly stopped moving. After a minute or so, I stopped. That was when the second came after me. From the front door it came. When it saw its comrade down, I swear it sighed in annoyance. I sprayed it too, and after a minute of playing Ring Around the Rosie with my couch while spraying, it fell. Then came the third, back door like the first. Keep in mind it was around 8 p.m. It was dark. Long story short, after about 2 minutes, it was fell. I didn't know if they were dead, but I didn't want to stick around and find out. I grabbed the car keys, my laptop charger, which luckily was on the couch, or else I'm not sure if I would have been able to get it. And I ran to the car. And yes, my phone was in my pocket. I had already prepared to escape up to Greenland. Visa was ready. I had a friend waiting where I could stay. I drove to the airport, which was 30 minutes from me. Call me crazy, but I had booked a seat on all flights to Greenland about 2 weeks after I first saw it. Because I did so in advance, it was only about $100 flight, and luckily or unluckily, there were not a lot. The flight closest to when I left was the next day, bright and early. I had to stay overnight, but at least they couldn't follow me inside an airport, which was true. I woke up at about 5 a.m. after sleeping overnight, as the plane left at 6:30 and I wanted to get something to eat beforehand. I looked out the airport's many, many windows and saw it watching me. But it wasn't just one of them. All 3 of them, plus another in the woods surrounding the east side of the airport, were glaring at me. How did I know it was the same ones? 3 of them had a visible chemical burn scar on their chest. But they didn't seem to be in any pain. They must have been looking at me for a few hours through the night, or morning, if you want to be classy. Now, you may be thinking that there is no way security let me in with a bunch of chemicals and a power washer. And this is true. They did not. I have a friend who works at this airport, which is the reason I did not go to another bigger airport 40 minutes away in the other direction. I told him it was urgent I get through the airport. My power washer was hidden in my backpack, by the way. After a lot of convincing and telling him my life is on the line and I have to escape the country, he let me in the back and escorted me to the gates where I would blend in. When the plane boarded, I had the heebie-jeebies to be let on. I quickly boarded and got on the plane. The plane was fine. I did, however, see them watching the plane take off. They knew I was on it, possibly even knew where it was going. By possibly, I mean must have, seeing as I had to still deal with them when I got into Greenland. After a week in Greenland, they already found me. How did they get from the east coast of the United States to Greenland so quickly without being detected? I have no idea. I saw them in the woods, and this time there were about 6 of them. 2 weeks after that, they were still stalking me, and there were 8 now. At this point, I did not know how they survived. There were trees, yes, but barely any. More like a few trees together than a forest. I waited for them to attack, and they did a week later. Those idiots did it while I was in the bathroom again. I swear, they were just trolling me at this point. My friend was at work, luckily, and I did the same as I did last time. Messaged my friend that I had to leave and not step foot in his house for at least a week. Why a week? Felt like a good number, I guess. I hopped into a rental car under a fake name and went north. To a town in the very, very north of Greenland. A town named Kanak. Luckily, I spoke Danish, primarily because my father is Danish, and he forced me to learn it. It has been 2 months since then, and there are no trees here. Only grass and ice, really. Because of that, I haven't seen one. Nobody else here has either, and they have stories of creatures like these that have been passed for generations, so they know a thing or two. I believe I'm now safe here. I don't plan to leave anyways. I don't know if they gave up on me or if they're just waiting for me, but according to the locals, they are just waiting for me to go to a place with even a single tree, which I do not plan on doing anytime soon. So that's all I have for you. That's all I know. To anyone who has noticed them, leave now. Come to Greenland or anywhere, for that matter. Make sure there is not a single tree where you live, though. I recommend Greenland, however, because the natives here understand these kinds of things. But whatever your choice, do not stay where you are.